you got a bit of a zinger for the first one. Yeah, this one, there's been a bit of a resurgence, let's say, in the past couple of years about the phrase cultural Marxist. And yeah, I've accidentally put in a spoiler there in the script. Like, the spoiler is that this isn't a new term. This has been going for quite a while. It's kind of been in this current form that it sits in since about the 90s, and that's weird, but like, it goes back further than that, and further than that, and further than that, you see. I mean, one example is the Call of Duty Cold War trailer, which has Yuri Bezmenov speaking about this and talking about things because he was a subscriber to this philosophy, you see. But it's weird to think that in this current New Age term has been going on and on and on for almost as long as I've been alive, and then more so. And there are people using this term that weren't alive when it came to its current form in the 90s. I mean, isn't that weird? So what's it about? What shall we say? Well, okay. The problem is there's kind of two reasons, and there's the one with the capital letters and the one with the lowercase letters. And don't worry, you don't have to pick. We're going to be looking at both, okay? But first of all, it's the lowercase one, the one that's a bit chiller, and it's a bit rarer, but helps set the stage for the one that we're currently using, okay? So back in the 1960s, there was this theory that the Frankfurt School and other Marxist theorists were attacking and undermining the ideals of Western culture and society. Now, that's another term for another video, don't worry, we will be getting to that. They thought this was done through the use of the counterculture, the multiculturalism, the progressive politics, and political correctness. You know, that thing Ricky Gervais keeps barging on about and being evil because he can't do a transphobia on a Netflix special. And now, at this point, I'm going to have to take a little step back and explain what the Frankfurt School is, because that's kind of important to do here, and otherwise you won't kind of understand. So, the Frankfurt School is a school of critical philosophy and social theory that housed the thoughts and musings of intellectuals, academics, and political dissidents who thought that the current system of socio-economics kinda sucked and probably shouldn't still be used. And I thought a lot of the political philosophies that had been around weren't exactly amazing, and kind of hated how it made factions out of people when they could have been looking at the similarities that they were instead of trying to find a team of sport of political ideology, kind of like how the culture war currently exists. And these systems that they criticised actually included fascism, capitalism, and ironically enough to this dog whistle and conspiracy theory, communism. Like, they were critical of everything. It's kind of what critics do. You kind of can't be a film critic if you're going to say that everything gets a 10 out of 10. Here we go, second version. Capital letters, here we are, and this is more popular, right? And this term has been popularised by the pseudoscientist and professional bedroom cleaner, Dr. JB Peterson.
It is only the individual, after all, who suffers.
Who has taught this term to all of those right-wing head cases that only exacerbated a lot of the problems now that I'm trying to use this video to fix. Also, it was also used by far-right terrorist Anders Breivik in the introductory chapter of his manifesto that he published in the way a lot of these guys do by killing 77 people, most of whom were part of the Workers' Youth League, which was basically the Norwegian Labour Party. So, interesting that. That'll be fun if you think about the UK Labour Party and what this means very soon. So, what's this version about? Well, this version is about Jewish people. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's going to be a bit of a trend throughout all of this. We're going to kind of just be talking about a load of stuff that people use to talk about Jewish people. And it takes the same idea the other had, you know, but replaces the Frankfurt School, which in some cases is a dog whistle itself for what we're going to be talking about, for Jewish people. And that's it. That's pretty much the thing. It's an idea that all the evil leftists and Jews basically have infiltrated all the good in the world, like academia, media, science, you know, and all that good stuff, to undermine the two God-given truths, Christian fundamentalism and neoliberal late-stage capitalism, or as these ghouls would probably just say, Western values, which is also a dog whistle. Those things that all civilized countries ascribe to, but we'll get more on that later, don't you worry, that's fine. Now, if we have a little look at the gross graphic that I'll probably have on the screen, and I had to recreate to make it both legible and take out the spelling errors and grammatical errors, which is really saying something about the creator of this piece of art. We see that according to this conspiracy theory, in their minds, Jewish people are putting themselves at the height of power and showing their personal victim complex. This complex as well is absolutely where it mixes with what I want to call Cultural Marxism classic, which is cultural Bolshevism. You know, like Coke and Coke Classic and New Coke and that. Basically that. But for Nazis. This lovely phrase is the cultural Marxism of the 1920s. And oh yeah, baby, let's get retro. That's right, it had a few variants though. It was called sexual Bolshevism, Bolshevism of art, Bolshevism of music, and it was basically, you know, you can say Bolshevism of and then something, and you basically mean the bad version of whatever subject you're talking about. You know, kind of useful. And this term was used a lot, and sponsored by people who spoke for the Nazi Party in Weimar, Germany. I wanted to say Weimar. A lot more of this is going to make sense now with this context, because you see, the Bolsheviks were a group of Marxists, right, who basically performed the famous Russian Revolution, and that's kind of how they made their mark, right? And in that time, a lot of Russia's culture changed. Now that's all its religion, art, music, political structure, policing, the lot, everything. And this brought about a new era. There was a lot of new things and places changed, and you know, some people tried getting the sexy times and things that the king wasn't cool with, you know, and they found out they really liked it, because isn't that weird that people, when they're allowed to explore things, find new things they like? Like, maybe this. This didn't fly with the ultra-conservatives at the time. They started this term because, like we said before, the great culture of the transcendently amazing Western development civilizations had been founded on were now being undermined by these dreadful practices. I'm doing it. Therefore, we needed to stop them. And you know who's smart and crafty enough to do this type of things in the eyes of a fascist? Unfortunately, the Jews. And with this having to be dealt with, This explains why the left-wingers had to be made enemies of the people by the fascists, because if they showed people the class struggles that they had could unify them, then that would create a new leveled out society, and all these people would find out that, one, it wasn't as bad as it was being portrayed as, and two, Jews weren't in control and destroying everyone. You know, two pretty good points. And unfortunately, this is a lie that the fascists and the wealthy that enable them just cannot allow to be examined and scrutinized properly. And this is why they keep trying to bring it back and try to put it back in style with the same persistence as bootcut jeans, and I, for one, am not going back to either. They're gone forever, my guy. I hope you've understood a little bit more about the term cultural Marxism, where it's come from, and what it means, and maybe now you'll kind of stop that weird guy from your church who's saying things and using the term or something, I don't know, and maybe you'll see why it shouldn't be in popular media, or said by, I don't know, a president. Anyway, yeah, hope this helps you call it out, get ready, and if you can, use this video link as your response to people who use it, and that'll help me, so yeah, cheers.
I want to say thank you very much for watching to the end. If you'd like to support this channel and everything that I'm working on, please have a look in the description. You will see links and all that kind of jazz. There are also links to the different pieces of media I have borrowed for this video, and they're all in there, so please give the original creators a little peek as well. That would be amazing. Thank you very much. Catch you later.